everyone, Sherry Lynn here. Got a new visitor. It's our foster dog, Butter Bear, and you'll see him running around because he doesn't leave my side. But for today's recipe, I'm excited to show you guys how I make my cream of broccoli soup. And it doesn't take any crazy ingredients. It's stuff you might already have in your kitchen actually. So it's super delicious. I know you're gonna love it. Check it out. So for this cream of broccoli soup, the ingredients are really simple. You need some diced ham, and if you're having ham for Easter, that leftover would taste perfect in this soup. You need about 4 ounces. I'm using packaged diced ham. A small onion, some black pepper. You want a large container of chicken broth. This is 48 ounces. We might not use exactly all of this, but you're gonna wanna have a decent amount on hand. You're gonna need some red pepper flakes, some pink Himalayan salt, about 32 ounces of fresh broccoli, some shredded cheese. If you're doing strict keto, I know I say it every time, but if you're doing strict keto, you're gonna go ahead and grate your own. If you're doing dirty keto like I am, you can use packaged cheese. And the last ingredient is about 10 slices of cooked bacon. And that's it, pretty simple. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and dump the chicken broth into a stock pot. The next thing we're gonna do is put this on the stove and set it on high. We wanna bring it to a boil. While we're bringing that to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and dice up 1 small onion. You can cut the onion however you like because this is actually gonna get pureed and help thicken the broth. Go ahead and put those onions in your stock pot. And then we're gonna add about 6 shakes of red pepper flakes. Next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and cut up our broccoli. And what you're gonna wanna do with this is you're gonna wanna cut off the stems, but save them. You don't wanna discard them. So I'll show you what I mean. So for instance, I just cut this off of these pieces. So you're gonna set these aside, but keep them because we're gonna boil that first, and that also gets pureed to help thicken our soup. Okay, so I know I got enough broccoli for the soup, so this remainder, I'm just gonna cut up and put over with the stalks that I separated. Then what you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and put the stalk pieces and the extra broccoli heads that you have and put them in a bowl. So go ahead and add this. So now that we got this broccoli added, what you're gonna do is just boil it until it's completely soft. Then we're gonna add it to a blender and actually puree it, and this is what thickens this soup. Now that we have the broccoli and the broccoli stalks added, we're gonna go ahead and add some pepper, and this is to taste. I like a lot of pepper. Stir it up, and you're just gonna continue cooking this until the stalks and the broccoli are tender. Okay, so this has been boiling for about 12 minutes, and you'll know when it's done when one of the stalks break easily apart with a knife. So if it cuts real simple and soft like this one, you know it's done. So now that this is ready, you go ahead and turn it off, and we're going to puree this in batches in the blender. And to do that, I just scoop it out. You don't want to overfill your blender. Since this is hot, it's gonna steam in there and it will rise up. So this is about a good level right here. Go ahead and put your lid on and hit puree. Okay, then go ahead and dump this back into your pot. And scoop out the next batch. And do the same thing. And you just want to continue doing this until you have all the chunks out of it. And I do like to go ahead and scrape in there and just get everything out. The great thing about this is there's no other thickener besides the cheese. And you can see this has a nice green, thicker consistency already, and that's what you want. So the next thing you're gonna do is go ahead and turn this back on. Okay, now that that's boiling again, go ahead and add your broccoli heads and stir it up. Now go ahead and take the remainder of your chicken broth and add it in. And what you want is for the broth to just be over top of the broccoli. If you have less broccoli than I have, you might not need to add the remainder of the chicken broth. If you have more broccoli than I had, you can go ahead and add some water and mix that up if you need to. Then we're just going to bring this to a boil and cook it until the broccoli's tender. Okay, now that this has come back up to a boil, go ahead and give it a stir, and you're gonna wanna start adding your cheese. And I do it at a handful at a time, and you're gonna wanna stir it as you're putting it in. Go ahead and add the next handful. You're gonna wanna make sure to keep stirring this so the cheese doesn't clump together. You actually want it to melt into the broth. All right, now that the cheese is mixed in, go ahead and add your 4 ounces of diced ham. And stir it up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of salt. Just do this to taste. And as soon as your broccoli is tender, the soup is done, except for serving it. I serve mine with a little bit of cheese and bacon on it. Okay, so this is done. I'm gonna go ahead and dish some up. So I topped mine with some cheddar cheese and crumbled up some of the bacon, and this is it, and it's ready to eat. Looks delicious. So now I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. This is absolutely delicious. I hope you guys give it a try and leave a comment and let me know what you think of it. If you want notifications when I post a new keto low carb recipe, you have to hit the bell button. Some people's been asking why they're not getting notified, and that's why. So if you're not getting notified every week, go ahead and hit the bell button and you'll start getting my new recipes. See you guys later. Enjoy. Happy Easter. Oh, so good.